Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Collaborate to Educate webinar hosted by Spokane Public Schools and Greater Spokane Incorporated. Just like to let you know that we are going to have Q&A at the end of our session. However, if you have any questions, feel free to enter them into the Q&A function. And we'd like to introduce our panelists today. After I quickly let you know what we'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about dual credit, financial aid, career pathways, the high school and beyond plan, work-based learning, and other helpful tips to prepare students. Go ahead. Here we go. Oh, 1 second. It's not allowing me to advance the screen. Okay. Christy, it's all yours.
Good evening, everyone. We're really excited to have such a great panelist with us this evening. We were intentional to try and invite people from around our community who have been collaborating to educate across Spokane and our entire new ESC 101 region. So my name is Christy Harder. I'm the Vice President for Education and Talent with Greater Spokane Incorporated. One of our panelists from Spokane Public Schools is Scott Curran. He's Executive Director of Student Success. An additional Spokane Public Schools panelist is Rob Revers. He's the Director of CTE and AVID. We have Jessica Dempsey, the Director for Career Connected Learning and CTE from New ESC 101. Cassidy Peterson is our Career Connected Learning Manager with Greater Spokane Incorporated. Tracy McGrath is a Community Relations Director for STCU. Meg Lindsay is with Workforce Development Manager for Providence Healthcare, Washington and Montana. Shannon Dumont is our Regional Director of the College Success Foundation here in Spokane. And Ben Small or Aaron Vincent will be here as the LaunchNW representative. We will turn it over to Scott Curran now.
All right, so the High School and Beyond plan is just what it sounds like. It's a plan for after high school. It is actually one of 3 graduation requirements that students have to complete before they graduate high school and get their high school diploma. It typically starts in 7th or 8th grade. In Spokane schools, that starts in 8th grade. And just in Spokane schools specifically, we are kind of theming the month of December as the High School and Beyond Plan month. And so when you think about what it means to be prepared for a lot of various options, if it's military, apprenticeships, trades, career training, 2-year or 4-year college, it's important that students have a plan. And so as a family, it'd be very nice to have those conversations about what students are aspiring to after high school. And to me, more importantly as well, have a plan and have a backup plan, and maybe then have a backup to the backup plan. In case anything happens, in case there's barriers, in case your world turns upside down, it's really nice to be able to have a multitude of options. And in Spokane schools, we really want to make sure that students have every door open to them as possible. And so the High School and Beyond plan incorporates a career interest inventory. We use a platform called School Links. Your students should be in there starting in 6th grade all the way through 12th grade, so ask them about that. But School Links is just a college and career software that students are in during advisory and learning about different options for their future. Within School Links, they take a career interest inventory. So they kind of look at different elements of a job and what's important to them. And then they formalize goals tied to their education, career training goals. They learn about financial aid, which we'll hear about a little bit today, specifically the FAFSA and the WASP. And then they develop a course schedule, what they're going to take in their 6-period day to make sure that they fulfill their graduation requirements, but are also doing intentional career exploration within the classes, especially CTE classes that they are taking in their high school career. Just for what it's worth, there's a QR code there if you want to read more about the State Board of Education for Washington's High School and Beyond Plan page. And again, just have really intentional conversations with students about what they're planning, and keep all doors open and make sure that there's all those backup plans. And I'm good.
All right, now we have Rob Rivas.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am here to talk to you about career and technical education pathways. I apologize if my voice is a little quiet. I'm home ill, but this is important for your students as they choose the direction that they're going to go and they look at their high school and beyond plan. For every kid, there's more than one way to get through high school and more than one option when they finish. And we represent the career and technical side of that. We have over 80 courses in our high schools. And we also start down in the middle schools with a STEM experience that we hope will spark an interest or a passion for a career that they might be interested in the STEM fields as they move forward. You're only required to take one CTE course to graduate in Washington State. That means if you want to stay in a career pathway, and many of our pathways have 4 courses, one that you can take each year of your high school experience, that requires you to work with a counselor and write those additional CTE courses into your high school and beyond plan. It's called your personal pathway choices, but it does require work with a counselor. As part of CTE, we have after-school clubs that we call career and technical student organizations. We have them at both the middle school and the high school, and they're designed to provide students with an opportunity to extend their learning, to develop leadership skills, learn more about 21st century professional skills, and also have the opportunity to compete with like-minded and like-trained students in the same areas. And they can do that in middle school and throughout their high school career. Many of you may have heard of some of those like DECA and FFA and Skills USA, but we have a number of CTSOs that students can participate in for a variety of reasons. CTE courses may qualify your student to earn additional credit, what we call worksite learning credit. So if your student has a job during high school and they've taken a qualifying class, a CTE class that's closely related to the job that they have, they can work with our worksite learning facilitator at the district level and earn up to 2 credits per year. And it's based on the number of hours they work. You get half a credit for every 90 hours that a student works. So if they work full-time during the school, well, as much as they can, full-time for a student is 20 hours a week during the school year, then they can earn up to 360 hours and up to 2 additional credits. We also do a number of work-based learning activities within our CTE courses that give up students the opportunity to explore the various aspects of careers. And we work to try to help kids find an opportunity to do internships, apprenticeships, job shadows, and get connected to additional training. Many of our courses end in dual credit, which you heard a little bit about from Scott. That's the opportunity to earn college credit while you're earning high school credit. We also have opportunities for kids to earn industry recognized credentials, which are certificates that they can market then to employers later. They can also market those onto future training programs, as many of our career pathways are going to require additional training beyond high school, somewhere between 6 and 18 months, depending on which area you're in. Our CTE courses vary per high school. It's based on facilities and training of teachers. So you definitely want to look at your course catalog and the flyers that you get, that your counselors have from CTE with regard to what pathways are offered in your feeder pattern. And we are happy to answer any of your questions anytime you want to reach out to our office. Thanks. Next slide.
Thank you, Rob.
Please.
Next, we have Scott. Back to Scott.
And I'm back. I do want to touch on, so dual credit, as Rob touched on, means taking a high school course and also having access to college credit while taking that high school course. And there's other options within this, but I do want to mention, and I apologize to my good friend Rob here, that CTE dual credit's not listed. CTE dual credit is very important, and it is an option for students to take a high school CTE course and get college credit. Running Start is another option, typically for juniors and seniors to go onto the college campus. Currently, the partnerships are with Eastern Spokane Community College and Spokane Falls Community College. So, and there's information nights upcoming in February. You can learn about that. If you have a, soon to be junior or senior student, you can ask questions there and talk to your student school counselor. College in the high school is an option to take a high school course taught by a high school teacher, but the course is approved by a college professor to offer college credit too. Currently, our partnership for those courses are with Eastern Washington University, and there's a variety of classes within each high school to have that opportunity. College in the high school is great compared in kind of balancing between advanced placement or AP. AP has been around for quite a few years. Many of our high schools have upwards of 10 plus AP courses that students can take from 9th through 12th grade. AP involves the student taking a pretty rigorous or strong coursework class throughout the school year and taking a final test in May that's scored 1, 2, 3, or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and 3, 4, or 5 as a score gets college credit. The nice piece in comparison between the two, college and high school and advanced placement, are both opportunities for the student to stay in the high school. Running Start is an opportunity for the student to go onto a college campus. Both have, pluses and challenges, and it really comes down to the student's interest. Very simplistically, if a student wants to be a part of the high school kind of culture and be around friends and has really favorite teachers in the high school level, college and high school and advanced placement are good options for that. And those students that feel really independent and most importantly organized are good options for Running Start to get a good head start on college credits. For more information, there's a QR code there to the OSPI dual credit website at the state level. And then just as an FYI to consider, we're fast approaching January and February, which is registration already, if you can believe that, for next school year. So your students 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th are going to be scheduling registering for their classes for next school year, at which point these 3 categories, actually 4 with CT dual credit, will come up. And it's important that you consider and have conversations with your students about what it means to get access to college credit before they leave high school. Again, it's such a great aspirational thing to have college credit in your back pocket, no matter your plan, to know that college is possible. Even if you start down a different pathway, it's nice to have that in your back pocket. So you, again, keep as many doors open as possible. Next.
Okay. And next we have Jessica Dempsey. Take it away, Jessica.
I'm Jessica with the Educational Service District. We're responsible for 7 counties in our region, which includes 59 school districts, 45 private schools, and 4 charters. So our job is to work with our partner school districts to build out the options that Scott and Rob have been talking about, which include dual credit, industry recognized credentials, apprenticeship work, as well as paid work experience. We also support the school districts and their teachers, counselors, the skill centers in implementation and finding ways to connect students to the various areas that allow them to participate in Running Start, or like Scott talked about dual credit, or CTE dual credit is a lot of our emphasis around creating options for students within the school districts. Next slide.
Okay, and next we have Cassidy Peterson.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Cassidy. And continuing kind of on the track that Jessica just talked about, zooming out a little bit from direct school kind of services and programs. Of course, that's a part of it, but we're kind of in this regional network space. So here at GSI, Greater Spokane Incorporated, we're the region's business development organization. And we're a part of a statewide initiative called Career Connect Washington, which you can look up on your own time to learn more about if you're interested. But we serve as one of 9 regional networks across the state to bring together cross-sector partners. So that includes K-12 schools and school districts, nonprofit, higher ed, community, business leaders, et cetera, to ideally build and strategize and grow career pathways for students and young people in Eastern Washington. So we cover the whole span of counties and region that Jessica just mentioned. So there's 7 counties in Eastern Washington that we're trying to bring kind of collective voice and strategy together to open up new programs, new opportunities for students and young people to ultimately fill the jobs, of course, that our employers are needing and are creating every day. So we are the network, but it's not just us, of course. A network is comprised of all partners, of all different kind of leadership types and levels and entities to make these types of things happen. So what used to be known as Spokane STEM, we are now called Career Connect Northeast, because we're not just talking about STEM. Of course, STEM is a very important pathway to consider and to integrate into a lot of different industries and careers, but it's all about connecting careers. So connecting the K-12 opportunities to what is that next step after graduation, whether that be the 2-year, 4-year college track, whether that be an apprenticeship training or military or any type of workforce training, as all of the partners have already mentioned. So we as a regional network also work to communicate all of the different opportunities happening in our region. So those are kind of looked at as a staircased opportunity ladder. So when we talk about career exploration opportunities, those are like career fairs that a lot of the students in all of our schools around Spokane either attend or are invited to attend. Those are industry professionals coming to classrooms to talk to students about their career journey and about what they do every day. And then kind of going up to that next level of experiencing careers in a more hands-on way. We talk about those opportunities as career prep. So that's more about maybe CTE, worksite learning, like both Scott and Rob have mentioned. That could be an internship. A student could be earning credit alongside of that experience. It's more of an immersive learning time for a student to be introduced to a career. And then kind of that next highest level is a career launch experience and opportunity. And ideally, this is for students 16-year-old and up to really be doing the job and doing the work. So they're getting paid, and then they're also getting some sort of credit or credential at the end of the opportunity. So credit towards a post-secondary 2 or 4 year degree or a industry recognized credential at the end of that as well. So I mentioned all 3 of those kinds of opportunities because we are working collectively as a network to expand and grow and reach more students with offering more of these and communicating them to you all as parents and supports to students in the district and districts here in our region. So we would love to hear how we can be better at communicating those, and of course working with our partner districts of how to integrate those into the softwares like School Links, like Scott was mentioning, and just making sure that we're communicating all of these things because businesses are out there, they're eager to invest and engage in our young people in our region. And we're wanting to make sure that we do that in a strategized and collective way instead of just for one school or just for one district. We want to reach as many students as possible in Eastern Washington. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Cassidy. Next, we have Tracy McGrath.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I represent the business voice along with another partner that will come after me. And I think it's important to know that business is an integral part of the equation in that we must have really vibrant school districts and have the opportunities to help students grow. And with that, often we need to advocate on behalf by telling the story so that things such as bonds and levies get the positive votes so that we can make sure that we have the investments necessary to continue to help all of our students thrive and grow. So the Education and Talent Alliance, which brings education and business professionals from the region together to talk about key issues that are maybe barriers. Maybe there's legislation that we need to work on that will help all of us have our kids have a better opportunity and path. So that's an important thing for business. And I would share to parents on the line, and also if you're a business owner or you represent an entity, think about how you might be able to be engaged with your school districts because they do need our support, our voice, and our expertise to help guide what they are trying to prepare the students for. The other thing is internships. It's fantastic to follow Cassidy. Cassidy was an intern with us a couple of years ago. We have offered 4 credit internships at the collegiate level, of which we're now looking at how we can have a high school student come into the credit union and help serve. I did put a resource, WashingtonWorkforcePortal.org/students. That is the Association of Washington Business centralized internship portal. It's a great place to go explore, to see what's out there, what companies are offering internships, and to plan and maybe get some ideas if you're not exactly sure of the pathways that you may want to pursue. And, you know, I think that starting early, like if someone was going to reach out to us as a freshman and say, we want to work at STCU as your intern, I remember that when it came to be a junior and apply. And so that type of aptitude and it is really welcomed at STCU. And last but not least, we learned that FAFSA is truly, it's a gateway and it's an opportunity that when individuals complete the FAFSA or the WASP, there are scholarships, financial aid, there is work study, there are so many opportunities. So we as a business leader felt it's our duty that we are opening our doors and helping complete FAFSA with a partnership with the College Success Foundation in preparation for the launch of Launch Northwest in the future so that we can give everyone in our region a great opportunity. Next slide.
Thank you, Tracy. Meg Lindsay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Meg from Providence. I'm super pleased to be here tonight to be able to share a little bit about Providence's work We're committed to being a partner in this robust community network with all of these panelists and the organizations they represent across the community. So we can help families and students learn more about career opportunities in our region. We are working to build high school and beyond plans, and we hope as you guys are building those that our involvement helps you to know a little bit more about the career pathways in healthcare. We have everything from, we're like small cities at Providence, right? So we have everything from accounting to cybersecurity to facility management. And then we have those healthcare careers that you all know about that are patient facing, like nurses, doctors, medical assistants, CNAs, and all of those. So I could talk about career pathways in 3 different sections, really about exposure, access, and how we're building skilled talent, both with our education partners and with ourselves. As Cassidy and Jessica mentioned in their conversations around Career Explorer Northwest and Career Connections, we are working in a variety of ways to expose students to healthcare careers through opportunities around having our employees take part in career fairs, panels across the community in classrooms. And as our Providence employees take part in those career fairs, we're helping to build awareness about what those great jobs are in healthcare fields. As students begin to build their pathways, we want to partner with all of you to help build that interest in healthcare and then help that become part of the high school and beyond plan. So next time your students attend a career fair, or if you're attending a career fair, go home and talk to your parents or to your student about what that experience looked like. What did you learn? Who did you talk to? How was it different than you might have imagined? Access is super important. Once a student's interested, we have some pathways that help them dive a little deeper into that healthcare career. Several ways that we do that. We have a robust volunteer services department here at Providence, Sacred Heart and Holy Family. If you have a student or if you are a student that's 16 years and older, we can offer you up to 80 hours in 6 months for a volunteer opportunity. It's really great to be able to put that opportunity on your high school and beyond plan, or use it as credits toward your educational pathway, or even to put on your resume as you think about maybe joining the workforce as soon as you graduate. All of this helps us to connect to the educational programs that really help to provide skilled talent within our community. So we have a lot of ways that we connect that skilled talent within our walls. If you go on to a community college or 4-year opportunity pathway, and you decide to partner in a healthcare major or field, you most likely will get a clinical internship, and that will happen within the walls of a healthcare facility. So Providence alone, not including CHAS, Multicare, and all of the great healthcare organizations that we have in the region, we serve upwards of 3,000 of those students a year. So 250 a month come through our walls, and we help train them to be more ready for their boards, exams, and to help them get their certifications and licenses so they can be health practitioners. We also have some entry-level earn to learn opportunities through our own training programs. We have our own certified nursing assistant program, our own medical assistant pre-apprenticeship for high school and adult apprenticeship for adults program. We have phlebotomy and surgical jobs as well. These are earn to learn. We pay for the cost of that education and connection for students. And then we also allow you to work and earn a wage at the same time. So those are really great opportunities to think about, including in your thoughts and your high school beyond plans. So like many employers in our community, once you're part of the Providence team, we can help you navigate and pay for additional education. Got to have that FAFSA because we like to be able to make sure that all of your educational training is paid for. We'll pay up to $5,200 a year for you once you are working for us, and help offset that cost of tuition that some of your grants and loans won't pay for. So we hope you, as you move forward, you'll consider a career in healthcare and come to work for one of the many opportunities here in Spokane. Next slide.
Thank you, Meg. Great, we have Shannon Dumont.
Good evening. Thanks, Sandra. And it's been so great to be a part of this panel and all the information that is being presented. So I'm Shannon. I'm with College Success Foundation, and here tonight just to talk a little bit about the wraparound supports that happen in partnership with Spokane Public Schools. So College Success Foundation is a nonprofit that was founded in the year 2000, and our goal is getting students into college and then through college. And when we're talking about college, we're using that term broadly, right? Helping students to explore apprenticeships, technical, 2-year, 4-year programs, really anything that a student feels is their area of strength and gifts. So we are so grateful to be a part of the community partners that work with Spokane Public Schools. And so Scott and Rob and their team there, Sandra, we're grateful for that. And so as parents and students, if you're on this too, we just really want to encourage you to engage with all of the different community partners that are represented in Spokane Public Schools. So, and there are a lot of us that are here to try and help you not only have your academic education, but help you outside of the classroom as well. And so communities and schools, Gonzaga, EWU, Whitworth, could go on and on, Generational Life, right? So all of these programs are here to give you opportunities outside of what you might just find in the classroom and help you with things like the High School and Beyond plan or Career Explore, like Cassidy was talking about, or seeking out opportunities at Providence, right? And so those are all the different things that community partners can come alongside and do. And at CSF, we really specifically want to help students explore that career piece for them and what that future might hold after high school. And so I just made some notes here on this slide, as this slide deck will be a reference for you. And so College Success Foundation starts in the middle schools, and we have staff embedded full-time in the middle schools and high schools. And then we also have staff and part of our program that has coaches that go all the way through college completion. And we can help with all of the different entity or the different facets that are listed here on the slide deck. So things like paying for college, right? We talk about scholarships, financial aid, talking about academic behaviors. As parents, it's really helpful for your students and you as a parent to help your student understand what are those things that are important as I go into my high school career and I'm looking post high school for what I want to do in terms of college. So working with those academic behaviors and those mindsets that help students succeed. Career exploration, like Scott mentioned, with School Links. So we use School Links, and we also use some other tools to help students understand what their talents are, what their strengths are, what really gets them excited, and what they think they want to be exploring following high school. And then again, applying to college or any sort of post-secondary education, and then financial aid and scholarships. And so that's really what we want to be doing at the College Success Foundation. So if you are a parent or a student that's listening tonight, we would love to engage with you, and Sandra will be providing contact information. But really, I want to close with this idea is that as a parent, you want to be talking to your student, and a lot of panelists have said this already, about what gets your student excited each day. And maybe it might not be one particular class that they like, but there is one that they love, right? Or what is an activity that really gets them excited outside of TikTok? Because there are other things that get our students excited. I know that Christy and Cassidy and Meg, both, they all mentioned this idea of when students are going to career fairs, what did you learn, and what was, you know, one of the aha moments, and what could you see yourself doing? So that type of dialogue with your students and really helping to understand what will get them passionate is what will get them showing up for school every day, engaging in school, and moving beyond. So we really want to be giving students that vision, whether it's CTE or the health sciences or the arts. We just love and believe firmly, all of us as community partners, that students are gifted with talents and strengths, and we're all here to help them succeed. So thank you, and next slide.
Thank you. And our final panelist, Erin Vincent. I believe it's Erin who's on, correct?
Actually, it's Ben.
Oh, it's Ben Small. Hi, Ben.
Hi. First of all, what an amazing panel to be included with tonight. I think that, and thank you to Spokane Public Schools for bringing together a group of people to talk about how parents and community members can collaborate to educate children. I think we at Launch Northwest, our vision that is that every child in our community travels their best journey to a post-high school education and career attainment. And whatever that best journey is, students and families need support as they travel that best journey. We know that 74%, up to 74% of jobs in Washington State will require some form of post-high school training, education program. And if our students are going to be successful, there will be something beyond high school that they need to complete. And we want to encourage every family to have that conversation. When we talk about career pathways and understanding this notion of post-high school education, I don't think it's ever too early to start talking to your children about the careers that are around them. Oftentimes they see limited careers. They see maybe a doctor on TV or a lawyer. And we should be, as parents, pointing out the different careers we see every single day in the world around us. And that, something as simple as that, begins the journey for children and sparks that interest. And when I say that their best journey, I think too many times we have established what the journey should be for our children, and we try to fit that journey into what we believe as adults, instead of trusting our children to, with our guidance, figure that out, to understand their passions, to understand, you know what, I love working with my hands, I love putting things together. Maybe I want to go into the trades and the value that trades bring to this community. But if you're going to do that, there's still post-high school education training that is needed. And so how do we spark that interest? And that starts young. And it doesn't mean that at the end of 5th grade, your child has their pathway planned out and they know they're going to this school and they're going to do this, because that's unrealistic. But we know that if parents don't have an aspiration for their child to pursue post-high school education, that they probably won't. What that leads to, in Spokane County today, a child with just a high school diploma and no post-high school training, a young adult at 32 years is making about $32,000 a year. That's not enough. That's not a living wage in Spokane today. And so we encourage you to really come alongside your child. Have discussions early. When it comes time to the high school and beyond plan, make it a real discussion, not just to check the box. And parents can have a huge influence over that. As we talk about FAFSA, Launch Northwest pairs a Promise Scholarship with the wraparound supports for children and families to make sure they're ready to claim that scholarship post-high school. And in order to claim that Launch Northwest scholarship, a family has to fill out the FAFSA. And it's not just for our scholarship, but the governor of our state put out a press release the other day that $50 million was left on the table in the state of Washington because children and families did not fill out the FAFSA. There's an economic imperative to this as well. And either we in Spokane County and we in our community, either our children claim that money or it goes unclaimed or claimed by other families. So please, when it comes time to that, oh, I got to fill out that FAFSA and it's really hard and I don't want to do it, reach out for help. Understand and know that it is important and that in 2024, when we announced the first Launch Northwest scholarships, we will need you to fill out that FAFSA because it's that important step. So those are the things that I would encourage tonight. Collaborate, be involved with your child's school, with your child's school district. Have your child be involved in school itself. Have them find a way to do something outside the classroom to keep them engaged. We think those are all important things. And again, just the panel tonight is amazing group of people who are here to work to better the education for your children.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Ben. That was great. A lot of great knowledge you just shared. Right. So now we're going to move on to our Q&A, and I see that we do have questions. And the question is, what does it take for a business to be approved for credit hours? Who would be able to take that question?
Well, in order for a student to earn credit at a business, there's a checklist that our worksite learning coordinator goes through with you to make sure the job is safe, to make sure that they have written goals, that the student is not just stuck in one position for the entire experience, that they're learning more about the industry and about the business. And then there's a regular reporting of hours that the student needs to do and a couple checks during the semester with the worksite learning coordinator. And as long as the student has a qualifying class, that's really as complicated as it gets.
Great, thank you. Another question, how are students tracking their high school and beyond plan? And how do parents get involved with this? I think this is the question for Scott.
Yeah, as was mentioned, I think from various people, there's a difference between like the compliance element of the high school and beyond plan and the meaningfulness, and like how rich that discussion can be, like Ben was talking about. The high school and beyond plan is completed in School Links. Parents or guardians can access what their students are doing in School Links, unfortunately via an invite from the student. So I would recommend having your student logging into School Links on their student laptop, and then you just sit alongside them and see what they're doing in there. Because December is kind of the plan or the themed month for High School and Beyond plan, I would imagine you can see elements of the High School and Beyond plan, but the completion of the High School and Beyond plan will be a focus for the month of December. But again, that's the compliance part. The meaningful part will be the conversation about what's the plan, what's the backup plan, how can we pre-think some of those barriers like financial aid, and how important the FAFSA is to open those doors. And again, like best laid plans, we can, when I talk to students and they say they know 100% what they're going to do after high school, what happens when they have hit that first barrier, what happens when they start to doubt themselves. And that's why it's important that they know that they have adults in their lives that will take care of them. But yes, the High School and Beyond plans and School Links, have your student log in, look over their shoulder, and ask them questions.
Right. Another question, what is the difference between the WASP and the FAFSA? I've heard both mentioned. Who's our financial leader?
I vote Shannon.
Second.
Yeah, so I would say that's a really great question and a very important question. And one of the amazing things about being in Washington State is that if by chance your student is an undocumented student, or you have unique situations by which you are not able to complete the federal application for financial aid, Washington State provides what is called the WASP, it's short for WASPA, right? So the Washington Application for State Financial Aid. And so the best way to find out which one you would apply for, and I really want to be clear too, you actually make these applications, a student would make these applications in their senior year. So if you're in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, it doesn't hurt to be learning about this information, but in order to apply for financial aid from either our state or from the federal government, or from the college or university or apprenticeship that you're going to, you would complete this application in your senior year beginning as early as October 1st is when these applications open. And so the FAFSA is kind of the general application that a majority of students fill out, but there is the state, Washington, the WASP, that we would help students fill out if they are in some unique circumstances. And it is really wonderful because it opens up thousands of dollars for students to access to pursue any form of post-secondary education, whether a certificate, apprenticeship, technical, 2-year or 4-year. So if you are a parent or a student in your senior year and you are for the first time tonight hearing FAFSA or WASPA, or you've heard these words and you're like, I don't know what this is. Tomorrow, if we make it to school tomorrow, sometime this week, we would like you to check in with a teacher, but ideally your college and career counselor at your school. Spokane Public Schools all have these individuals, or your counselor, and ask them about either the FAFSA or the WASPA, and we can all collectively make sure that you get that important document filled out. And it is time bound. You want to be doing this here in the next few months, or in the next month or so, to activate as many dollars as you can for financial aid. So please don't wait on either the FAFSA or the WASPA. If you're a senior, there is money for you to pursue college, and we would love to talk to you more about that.
Right, and we continue to hear about school links. Can somebody explain what school links, and are all students across the region able to access?
Yeah, SchoolLinks is one of a handful of college career software systems. Spokane Schools uses it, Cheney School District uses it, Meade School District uses it, East Valley School District uses it, and I believe Dishman Hills and West Valley uses it as well. It's just kind of a one-stop shop for students to explore career options, explore college options, or other post-secondary options, and to learn. There's a scholarship search engine in there. There's a lot of different valuable options. We're hoping to build out with our community and industry partners some of the work-based learning opportunities that were mentioned, so that students can see that there's job shadows, internships, even just volunteer opportunities to explore their future careers in our local businesses. And so it's paid for by districts, and districts choose one platform versus another. A popular one in the region is also Xello, Xello, but it's just a way for students to search for their options in the future and formalize that in plans and goals. And so if you go to schoollinks.com, 1L, schoollinks.com is their website, but for Spokane Schools students specifically, we have a lot of things in Clever. So when students log into Clever, they don't have to remember 50 different passwords. They just have one to get into their student laptop. There's a SchoolLinks icon in Clever that they click on to go straight into the platform.
All right, and for our last question, I guess this is for all panelists. If students want to get involved with your organization, what is the best way to do that? I know, Cassidy, I'm pretty sure GSI still has their business after school, correct?
Yes, we are offering a handful of these, not as many as normal school years, but there's also larger events. So we at GSI host different workshops at various business locations throughout the school year. And our next one will likely be in January or February at a local engineering firm. And you can find out all of these. I mean, I know that you're going to put a resource page together, Sandra, and your team after this, but at our GSI website, and you can Google Career Connect Northeast, and we have all that info there. But really just trying to offer more of these experiences, hands-on workshops. Career fairs definitely are valuable as well, but trying to get students in front of professionals to talk about, hey, what does your career journey look like? What do you wish you would have done differently? Or what are you glad that you did? And what is your advice to me today as an 8th grader or as a junior in high school? So just trying to pair together some of those intentional face-to-face experiences for students around our region.
I do have a question that just came in. This will be our last one, I believe. And it's if a student is deciding between an AP English course versus college credit English, which is more attractive to a highly competitive class, or excuse me, college?
It's a great question, popular question every year, and the difficult answer is it depends on the college and the university. So one of the easiest things you can do is just Google search whatever college you're thinking about and AP scores. So like, for example, if I search University of Washington AP scores, there would be a website on that college's page, and it would clearly line out if you get a 3, 4, or 5 in AP chemistry, it equates to this college class at this university. Most, especially Washington schools, private or public, have a version of that page on their website, so you can clearly see what AP classes and scores count for which college credits. College in the high school, for example, is when a student takes that class in Spokane schools and earns college credit, they get an Eastern Washington University transcript with that college credit alongside their high school transcript. So when a student applies to a college, like let's even say University of Washington again, that student is applying with their high school academic record, their high school transcript, and the Eastern Washington University college credit alongside that. So when they're applying for admission to a college, they list everything they've done in high school and any other college credit they've earned, including itemizing their AP scores and any college transcripts that they might have earned through other methods like college and high school. So it is difficult, depends on the college. I would highly recommend, if you have a college list you're thinking about, even if that's Ivy League or otherwise, reach out to an admissions officer. They're typically assigned by region. If it's Washington State, if it's Eastern Washington, if it's Spokane, they usually have a search. If you go to the admissions page, find your college admission rep, email them directly and ask them that same question, you'll get the very school specific approach to that college university, and that's going to be your best answer.
Scott, could I just add on to that answer too, which is really important, but I also think that it's really critical that parents and students understand the difference between the two in terms of the AP test. The AP class has one specific test on one specific day. And so you really want to evaluate if your student is successful in that model. If they have issues of text anxiety, or there are other things where, going into a high stakes test might not be the best option for them, even though the Ivy League school may comment and say we would prefer AP. It doesn't mean that there are not other ways for students to round out and build up their resume, right? So perhaps taking advantage of opportunities at Providence or internships at STCU or other ways by which they could build a resume that would make them highly competitive for an Ivy League school. So I think it's just really important to note that you have to take into account each student's unique strengths as you consider both options. So but yes, to Scott's point, contacting the school will be your most straightforward answer.
All right. Before we say good night, are there any other tips from our panelists?
I'd just like to share that a lot of the resources we talked about this evening, all of the work that's being done with Career Connect Northeast and Jessica Dempsey's work with NEWESD 101, what Ben referenced in terms of FAFSA and financial aid, that also Meg's work at Providence, that also supports our adult population, our workforce. And you have a great opportunity right now to connect with any of us on this panel as an adult to get upskilled or to get better connected to what you might have for post-high school opportunities and employment opportunities, which are multiple and highly needed in our region. So please reach out to us as an adult as well for any of the supports that we could provide you.
Yes, these webinars are definitely for families, parents, and students. So thank you, Christy. All right, well, before the end of the week, just because the next couple of days will be snowy, we will make sure to email everybody a link to this webinar, as well as a lot of the other resources that everybody mentioned, so you don't have to worry. We will send that out to you. Anyway, thank you to all our panelists, and thank you to everyone for joining us. Have a great night. Bye.